Hello everyone and welcome back to the harbour for what will be our next episode of Purple Revisited. Hope everyone's having a good day. As promised, we're dropping back in on level 17 now. Progress has been smooth with one notable blip which I'll go into. I should have known better than to tempt fate. But yeah, we had one notable egg on face moment, but apart from that, it's been pretty well plain sailing, and I hope to demonstrate that here. Let's have a look where we're at with the various bits and pieces. So enhancements, we're obviously all out in the Enlightened Spirit, which is the tanky tree, although as mentioned before, I have gone into the light spell power, particularly because we're using light at the moment in the form of Utter Dark Blast to do our blast damage, or at least part of it. So we want that to be as high as possible. And at the moment, with the help of some of the gear we've got, and also the iconic past life that we're using, we've reached a very respectable 400 plus on light spell power. So that's another compelling reason for sticking with the light for now. You might recall my plan at the cap is to switch to force for the base of the blast. The reason for that is the gear. I think I might still have the little ring on me somewhere that I could show. Where is it? I don't think I have I? No, it's the Ring of Winter's Chill anyway. And I've just made the mistake of showing Brian this. But actually, it's fair. What do you reckon, Brian? It's not too bad, is it? I think I've just sold most of my rubbish, so I've got away with that one. There's one or two odds and sods that should be sorted, but yeah. While I'm in here, I've got quite lucky with the drops actually. I dropped one of these in the last quest chain, the Age of Rage. So that's perfect for the cold side of what we're doing, and you can see at the bottom there we've got Conjuration focus on there, which is very nice for our build, although surplus to requirements because we've got the Conjuration on the glasses. But very nice item for us. Conjuration, you might recall, is used for our web and tentacles, which we've been alternating for our crowd control to very good effect. Why was I in here? Oh yeah, this happened to drop in one of the Mithdrana quests. So I thought, why don't we just have a little try swinging a weapon in between the blasts? So I went ahead and put charisma to hit and damage in the Fade Arc tree, and results can only be described as very mediocre at best. So I gave up with the swinging of the weapon. The best thing I was seeing was the little imbue from our this spiritual retribution. The rest of it, there was a lot of sort of glancing blow and not very much happening. So I'm guessing we're not suitably strong to get the decent damage from that. Although there it says proficiency longsword, and I think we would have proficiency with weapons anyway, don't we? From one of these cores somewhere. Or is that a bit... Oh yeah, proficiency with all martial weapons. So I don't think it would have been that would have been causing it. We just didn't do very much damage at all. Maybe the charisma was just too low, I don't know. But approaching 40 isn't terrible, is it? Might as well have a quick look while I've mentioned it. I think we're doing fairly decently. Con main stat nearly 50, charisma the backup one in the mid 40s. I think that's very good. Saves are pretty decent. Armor class is okay. So I might as well go into the gear. So main tree here, and we are backed up now by the Tainted Scholar tree. The fourth core in there is pretty good, extra 20% spell crit damage. We won't be able to have that at the cap, unfortunately, because we need an investment in the shifter tree for the tanky side of things. So we'll be cutting back on the investment in this tree. But for leveling, a bit of extra power from these pack dice and this fourth core which also gives you the Death Ward spell, which isn't bad. So yeah, not terrible. So that's the enhancements. Spell wise, we've picked up some significant additions, so let's have a look at those. Where were we? We just picked up displacement and tentacles, I think, hadn't we? So Death Ward, I've just mentioned, comes with core 4 of the Tainted Scholar. Ice Storm you get at level 14. That's quite a nice one as well for fitting into the no save bracket, which we will be forced to be adopting when we get to the cap, because everything would be saving against the low DCs that we will have, being as we're a con build. So yeah, the damage, such as it is, it's very minor, especially at cap, but damage is damage, and I don't think they can save against it. Also, it's there's some bludgeoning there, force, and that'll be a decent element for us at the cap on the gear, so not terrible to have. And also the no save slow element will be nice for blocking up areas. So between this and the Sleet Storm, there's an element of no save crowd control there, which will be quite nice. Teleport I picked up because I couldn't see anything else too compelling to take at level 4, so I thought, why not have the convenience and not mess with the scrolls. 5, Finger of Death, because I have fun with it leveling. I mean, 37 is by no means great, but maybe if we pick on casters and archers, we might get some joy with it and give me the odd smile. Of course, it won't do anything for us at the cap, but again, I can't really see anything too compelling, given that I don't like to use tensors. I think we spoke about this, Terry, in one of your well, it was recent at the time of my posting in it. You were complaining about the long cooldowns, I'm presuming, on the Tempest spell, which will obviously go to a minute cooldown if you're running with what's it called, Tensor's transformation on. Now, defensively, it would be good for our build, giving 4 extra con and a bit more armor class, but at the cap he has an item, a dinosaur crafted item weapon, that gives him 2 exceptional con anyway, and it seems that doesn't stack with the Tensor's bonus, so I'd be doubling the cooldowns on all my spells for the sake of 2 extra con. So in the end I decided it's not worth it, and I'm not going to bother with Tensors, because I would like him to be able to cast. Between the Tempest and the Tentacles, if we double the cooldowns on those, they're going to be what, a minute and 40 seconds apart, which is less than ideal. At the moment, for leveling, we almost don't notice when there's something that's immune to the Cold Pact, because we almost always have either Tempest or Tentacles ready for a pack of opponents, and both of them can do decent damage at the moment. Again, just unmeted for now. All I've got is Quicken going at the moment, that's all. Feats wise, I've been going up the shield line for a little bit of extra PRR and MRR from the shield, and also the bonus hit points that you get from, I think it's called Heroic Durability, for going up one of these lines. So we've got General Shield Proficiency, and then Shield Mastery, and I think the last one I took Improved Shield Mastery. So we're going along down that line. The last real spell of note there is the last pact spell we picked up, Nyax Biting Cold. Now that's the 2nd damage over time that we've got, and that's quite different to the first one, the Creeping Cold. Creeping Cold, you might recall from the Druid series, is backloaded. So we cast it and we get 2 little ticks, 2 medium ticks and 2 big ticks of damage. If we interrupt it at any time by recasting it, we go back onto the little ticks. So the best interests there is to cast it once and let it run its course. This one is different. I've never played with this before, but according to the description there, it stacks up to 3 times on the target for more damage with a 16-second duration. So in this case, my best interest against a boss would be to cast it repeatedly, at least until we get the 3 stacks, and then see how we go from there. So I should probably stick the metas on that as well. Just as with the Creeping Cold, I wouldn't plan to use that unless against a nasty single target like a boss or a Reaper or something like that. So I'll be interested to see how we go with that. And of course we've got coming up as well, I think the final pact spell is the Greater Creeping Cold. So these 3 single target dots, again nicely into our theme of no save. None of them allow any kind of save, so I think they'll be alright, especially for keeping the attention of a high priority target when we get to the cap. That might be good, or for grinding one down if we are alone in a quest. So yeah, look forward to seeing how that's going to go for us. Similar in operation to the Arcane Pulse that we experimented with Fool's Druid, if you remember that. Now I gave up with that because it was distinctly underwhelming for having spent a feat to get it. But in this case, it's come free with the pact, and some damage is better than none, so we might as well make use of it while we have it. Yeah, going back to the one death that we had, this was like an ignominious defeat. You might recall at the end of the last episode, I was all positive about, yeah, we could have a go at Tempest Spine. I'll just take a potion of Bull Strength and make the check for the levers and blah blah. So yes, as far as that went, that was good. I was able to get to the right number for the strength check, but I only made it 30 seconds into the quest. I got my Death Ward dispelled, unbeknownst to me, by one of the casters in there. And a little bit further on, ding, Soulstone. And I'm thinking, what? And I looked down at the bottom here where the little dice thing is, and it said Slay Living 1 fail save. I'm guessing because of how high our constitution is, we would have had to roll a 1 to fail on the Slay Living. And it just so happened that was our time, and we ended up dead, and that was that. So no, we didn't do Tempest Spine, but everything else has been good, really strong. No need, basically no need at all. I haven't gone above Reaper 1 because my objective with this is to show that you can level perfectly decently and in decent time with the tanky build, and then get to the cap and just respec the trees, and then have it as a much tankier thing. So yeah, aside from that one blip, been going along really nicely, alternating as mentioned between Tempest and Tentacles. If I have a choice, if both are up, I'll use the Tentacles for a pack, because as you can see there, the cooldown is shorter. We've got 20-second cooldown on the Tentacles, and it's 30 on the Tempest. But generally speaking, as long as you're not absolutely flying along, we have one of these up for each pack, and it in conjunction with our 2 blasts, things tend to melt reasonably respectably. So that's pretty good. Picked up our little potions to boost force and light. Power. Force is Tentacles and Tempest, so it's boosting our big AoEs. And light is our little light imbue on our blasts, plus our base blast damage. So the only thing we're not boosting is cold, because I can't be bothered doing 3 bottles every time. What else have we got noted down? There's plenty noted down here. Yeah, I mentioned that skills we haven't looked at. I've just been progressing on with the... Well, what am I doing? Been going on with the route we started. So we've maxed Intimidate now, max Spellcraft, almost max Concentration. Jump I stopped at 10. I think that should be okay. It's telling us 25 now, isn't it? I think it should be okay with a jump potion. That's up to 35 already. I'd like it to be at or close to 40 during normal questing, but we'll see how we go. UMD I stopped at 1 because, as we can see already, it's at a decent number even with just that, because we have he has a tome for UMD and he also has a decent charisma score. It's a charisma skill. I could put some in balance because despite the claims, things like this core here don't. It says immune to most knockdown effects. There's always something that knocks you over, so balance to get up quicker wouldn't be such a bad thing. Or maybe into heal, because we will be using. I've literally 0 times, maybe the odd potion to top up, but I've not had to use. Well, it's a good job because I don't have any sources of self-healing apart from these potions. It's all been on temporary hit points between Shining Through and Stanch. I'm not joking. If you don't go above Reaper 1, the incoming damage is not too bad. You've got displacement all the time, and it's absorbed very nicely with the Shining Through and the Stanch. So self-healing, with positive healing, you just don't need it. Or at least that's what I've found. Again, I hope to demonstrate that a bit later. Yeah, as I mentioned, we got very lucky with the drops. I've shown you the Wild Frost. We also got the Scepter from the Lord's March chain, the level 12 thing. If I can find it, is it that? Yeah, there we go. Scepter of Glaciation. Again, that's got everything we want. Glaciation, Ice Law, so spell power and crit chance. Insightful Glaciation. So everything there for our cold. And Evocation Focus would help our blast to do full damage. So that was a really nice item too. So either of those two for heroic leveling, Wild Frost or Fusible Scepter of Glaciation, would be perfect for anything to do with cold. What have we done with the gear? Ah, yes, that's a really nice piece, which I'm sure anybody who saw the Cleric life, the Morning Lord life, will remember. The Resplendent Fury Orb from Best Laid Plans in Sharn. It's just an improvement on the coalesced coinage, so more insightful light spell power, more insightful light crit chance, very nice. And this thing at the bottom is the icing on the cake there, the coalesced flame. When we cast a fire or light spell, gain 50 temp spell points. Well, our blast counts for that, so we can trigger that with our blast without needing to. Our colour spray would count for it too, but at the moment our blast counts for it. Whether it would count if we weren't using Utter Dark, I suspect it might, because we have a light imbue here. I suspect that might be triggering it. But whatever the case, it's really nice to be having, and it translates to quite a nice little bunch of extra temporary spell points to use during the course of the quests. So very nice to have. What else have I updated? Updated us to a 3-piece Sharn set. So we've got the Flame Cleanse Fury set, the medium armor, the Hallowed Trail, which is amazing for everything to do with our light. So we've got Radiance and Radiance Law there. Evocation Focus as well, as mentioned, is nice for our blast. What else have we got on the... Oh, Castigators, not so useful for us really, because we're not doing anything with positive spell power, but we do benefit from the insightful PRR and MRR on there. And the item itself, it's quite nice. Fort, Sheltering, Healing Amp. At the moment we're not too bothered because we're not doing anything with positive healing, but the rest of it's okay. And the set bonus itself is almost perfect. I say almost perfect because force and light is what we're into at the moment. Fire, if that fire was cold, then it would be perfect. But still very nice to have. And our defences have gone up a little bit for having medium armour. Again, I plan to sort of stay towards the castery side of things until reaching the cap, so I might not even use a shield until we get to the cap. Might just stick with this orb line for more offense. I think that'd probably be better. But still staying with in the tanky tree, just to show that it's fine leveling like that. What else have I updated since we were with you last? The glasses I think are the same, the conjuration glasses. The neck piece is new. Topaz of evocation to help our blast, and conjuration for the web and tentacles. And we've got all our charisma and constitution needs on there, so very nice. That was from that's a legacy of doing racial lives on my main character as a warlock. Is that worth anything? Spell sight, yes. A bit of extra spell power. Spell pen, because tentacles does have a spell pen check, so that's nice to have. And our little Myth Drana item. Now, Insightful Charisma is already on the necklace, so that's not helping us. But the Profane one on all stats is Exceptional Healing Amp. Well, you could say it's useless at the moment because we're not using normal healing. But if you look at the bottom there, I've managed to find and slot a Gem of Spell Power. 15 Profane bonus to Spell Power. So that's not bad as a little boost. I think that's pretty much it for the new items. The rest of it is as it was in the previous episode, so I won't labour too long on there. Let's have a look what else we've got noted down. Yeah, that that thing with the weapon popping up completely by chance. It was almost like the game wanted me to try to swing a weapon, so I did, and I was distinctly unimpressed with the results. I think the only way I would swing a weapon with a build like this is if it was some kind of a debuffing thing for the target, so that the group I was with could benefit from that. Otherwise, no, I don't think there's any point to it. Right, yeah. The one significant thing that I ran across, this was in Myth Drana. I mean, there are a few skeleton types, but they just take a bit longer to beat down because they don't take your cold damage. But that was fine. The one things that were healed by our cold damage that I found, Forgotten Helm Horrors in Myth Drana. They heal from the cold. So if you ever, regardless of what pact you've chosen, like Clay Golems if you're on Acid Pact, or Flesh Golem if you're on the Electric Pact, just toggle the pact off on the hotbar. It toggles off immediately like there, that's no longer on. And then just remember to switch it back on when you've dealt with what you're dealing with. If you run into stuff that's healing, Iron Golem from the Fire Pact, I guess, would be a similar issue. But that's all. Very few that I've had to actually switch the pact off for. So it's not been as big an issue as I thought, to be honest. And I think that's because the base blast damage being either force or light, very little, if anything, is resisting those. So you always have some base damage to fall back on, even if the opponents are immune or worse still, healing from your cold pact or whatever pact you've chosen. What else have we got? I've mentioned that about the orb as well. Yeah, I took sweet revenge. If you remember the Druid series, and the suffering in the burning library in Mithdrano, because at the time Fools was in fire spec with not too much in the way of a plan B. So to go in as a cold warlock with the cold pact going against a raft of fire creatures, I was thinking, yes, this is payback, people. So we duly avenged his troubles. Right, I think that's probably about all I had to say. So basic strategy, going from one group to the next, alternating between Tempest and Tentacles to boost up the damage. Tempest obviously is only damage, there's no crowd control element there, so we have to make sure by our positioning that the things stay in the AoE. The Tentacle, by the way, it's well earned its place as one of the dominant spells of the game. If you haven't played a Warlock or you've not come across the spell before, the AoE is absolutely enormous, like on a par with maybe Delayed Blast Fireball, something like that. And it's a CC as well as damage. I can't tell you how good that is. If you haven't experimented with it yet, you're in for a treat. I can only guess if you haven't heard of the spell, you've not played a Warlock yet, because to play a Warlock and not have that, well, you're missing out, put it that way. So that's going to be our strategy. Use those two to bolster our damage up. Still only using Quicken to just conserve the spell points. We're going to have a go at the what's it called, this chain? Is it Madness chain or something like that? Nothing crazy, just sticking with Reaper 1, just trying to show that the build is still in a very decent place, and also that we don't need to rely on any kind of positive healing, because I just trigger the Shining Through, and immediately now we've got 500 temporary hit points to go at. It's on a 30-second cooldown, and then if we do find ourselves struggling a bit, we've got Stanch as well to go at. I swapped out Colour Spray for Night Shield on the level 1. Obviously for magic missile defense we only need shield, but later on we're going to go into Fade Arc with a few more points, at least 7 to pick up this one here. And if you can see there, casting shield then gives us 10 extra PRR and Night Shield 10 MRR, so that's why I've done that. Okay, defenses up, bottles to drink. Let's just show you quickly max, more or less max buffs where we can get to. So we're what are we, coming towards 400 on force and 25 crit, and going up towards 450 in Reaper on light with a 33% crit chance, so not terrible.
Concealed panels along the walls slide back.
We're trying all the time to make a group of things and then just hit them. Tentacles is my thing of choice, as mentioned, because it's on the shorter cooldown. Now single targets, I doubt very much we're going to be able to Finger of Death this, you know, it's going to save, so let's try the web against it just to contain it, and just chop it down slowly. Okay, so yeah, a big thing like that I would expect high fort. Maybe the Mind Flayers might be able to be Finger of Death. Oh yes, oh yes! I tried the web there, I don't know whether it... oh, it did work. Okay. So again here I'm going to try and make the biggest pile of these things I can, and then just smash them all up together. I think you saw that the scorching light from the orb that we've got even triggers on our passive aura. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I?
There must be more cocoons to create the number of takers that have been reported in the city. Morley must have another hidden laboratory somewhere near.
I think that's everything, right? Everybody gather round. could just die a little bit more quietly, that would be helpful.
The familiar stench of the storm-reached sewers staggers you for a moment. Fresh boot print. These rusted pipes are too narrow for you to squeeze past. Given their apparent fragility, they may come apart. Raised drawbridges at opposite sides of the room stand at attention, just waiting for the proper levers to be thrown.
I'm guessing some of you might not be particularly familiar with this chain because it's very rare it figures in the public rooms. Around this level it's almost exclusively Shan and Cogs that I see listed. For very good reasons as well, the two sagas and all that kind of thing, but sometimes just as a change, and especially when I'm not running a potion as now, I'm going to need to do a few more quests to reach the same level. I think it was you, Brian, saying about, you know, what quests do you do. I sometimes like to do this madness chain, or at least the first 3 of them, before going into Shan, level 15s. Come on then, if you're coming. What's going on? Some bizarre behaviour here, sir. So again, really nice CC and the damage there. It's an older chain as well, so it's softer content. I'll pick up our collectible for Klitsch. Actually, I've had some joy picking up those, aside from the crafting, which I do on occasion. They can occasionally drop those shards that you can make experience potions out of, if you're really lucky. Now, if you're faced with a really tough situation, like a massive group of tough things, you can of course double up the 2 AoEs, the tentacles and the Tempest, and that really does make a mess of the targets. Finger of Death, beautiful, happy days. So 6 more to get. Let's do what we did last time and just
Smashing the cocoons
okay.
has reduced the enemy's ability to transform innocent people into the Taken.
Oh, wrong key. Let's try and sneak out of here without fighting. Let there be peace in Eberron. No more fighting. Come on then, if you're coming, or are you lagging? It looks like they're lagging. Oh dear, that's buggered me up. I was hoping they would all converge on my position. If they're going to do that, I'm just going to bugger off. We're supposed to close on me, but that'll do.
This downspout has no ladder down the shaft. Once you go in, there's no way.
As you
back
can
up.
see, of our
You have caught
500
up with Morning
temp
Glow,
hit
but he's
points, we've
not
still
alone.
got 281
The
left.
projection of a
The
mind
lasting
flayer
for 10
stands
minutes
over you.
is really nice. Obviously, in higher level stuff, when you're taking bigger chunks of damage, it's less important. But for the leveling, it's great. It's a very low cost as well, that shining through thing. You could feasibly cast it once every 30 seconds for a 400 or 500 hit point boost. Just really nice to have. I hope these are going to humour us and home in on us as they should do. Because it kind of buggers up my strategy when they just sit there. In you come, people. Okay, so let's have a go with the... Oh, he's going to zone in and out, isn't he? Going to have a go with the single target things here. The Nyax and the... I was trying to pick up the remnant. Oh, the cooldown on Nyax is actually quite long, isn't it? I was trying to recast it quickly to get another stack on him, but it's about 10 seconds, isn't it? Okay, noted. Right, let's go and do the next one in the chain. If you've not seen this one before, it's just a straight several waves of things and then a boss at the end. Nothing more sophisticated than that.
Over the shouts of an angry man.
Can I get rid of that duplicate one? Nope.
A man upon the upper walkway begins ranting at the workers below.
Who let these people in here? I thought I'd paid good money for security. Get rid of them, now!
Abyssal. Where possible, I'll just use the blast because the blast is free. If there's a little group, I'll throw in an AoE to take advantage of it. Always try and drag one to another one if we can find one. Well, there should be 6 more somewhere. Where are they? Maybe this one has to die before the others will spawn. There we go. That's what we like to see. Temporary spell points and a spell orb.
Morley shouts down from the balcony.
Bah! I have better minions at my disposal.
Now the mind flayers in here, I can certainly try to target with the finger of death. Those big hounds, I'm going to need to do something different because they're clearly too strong for it. Can't we have more than one at once? I've made the point in the past, this thing kills 20 as quick as it kills one. It looks really ponderous against one, but against the big group of things. Let's go with the finger. Yes, beautiful. Web to just keep it from doing anything nasty while we are recharging our finger of death. Anything else that looks... Yes, you have one of those, thank you. So for levelling, certainly the Finger of Death has its place. Happy days. I think there is another... Oh, he's there. Oh, I think there might be another two. There's another mine. Yeah, it's a boss as well. Need to be careful with that. We've lost some charisma as well. I do have a little bottle for that. Gloomy Potion of Restoration, I think, from the Night Revel event. Oh, he's got Death Ward champion. Not cool. Let's make sure.
Morley shouts.
I'm losing patience with you lot! Just die already!
Yeah, those little bottles get rid of one neg level, but also all ability damage. Really nice to have. So Webb's still doing very nicely, even in late heroic. We're helped, as I mentioned before, with that, by our going to double up the Tentacles and Tempest now for the several Thrask hounds, and that made short work of them, didn't it? Probably overkill. Yeah, our 3 cleric lives are giving us 3 conjuration DC, which is very helpful for Web and Tentacle. Go on then. Boom. Can't beat a bit of Finger of Death. In fact, it was so good we'll do it again. It's just a little bit costly mana wise. Now, let's make sure we've got our defences on here. And our offences. Again, I'm going to double up the 2 AoEs against this guy. Throw in the cold damage over time. Stanch for more hit points. We're not prodigious against the boss, but we get the job done. And we, as you could see, we had ample temp hit points there. Just to reiterate, every time, as well as the extra points I can generate with the shining through thing, every time that aura ticks, that's giving us our con score in temp hit points. So 49 at the moment it should be giving. So that's nice to have too. Go and do the next one. I always like to have a DDO for this next one, because unless there's something I've missed, if you don't have a door, you seem to have to trail through a load of opponents to get to the end. I suppose you could always have Mikhail, the fighter hailing, if you have a character that doesn't have a door for this one. Oh, there are these dogs. Oh, only one. No? Oh. We'll get rid of them because we have to come back this way. So putting the Tempest down and then dragging the things back, so make sure they don't leave the area. Ooh.
A scrap of paper inside the book reads, Bill of Sale. 12 school children in good condition. Shipped to
Okay.
Mr. Smythe. Payment on delivery.
I think we might just try the path of least resistance here. Again, that little wings thing is the Chaos Mancer past lives. I love to have that handy, just for occasions where you might need a little boost. I think that sunburst was a completely random Colours of the Queen trigger. I wish I had the sunburst spell, because we have good light spell power at the moment. Try and get this one. No, we can't use Finger of Death on those hounds. I'll have to come up with something else. There's a beholder down here, so I'm just putting the let's try and take the charisma damage off with our little potion again. You, sir, can be Finger of Death. If, like me, you've struggled in the past trying to get certain spells like the Finger of Death to work, if you just go with the sort of general principle of only targeting casters and archers, you can't really go too far wrong with those Finger of Death type things that go on fortitude saves.
The final entry in the diary reads, This Smythe fellow is involved in questionable activities, but I'll use the Borson name to keep the guards away, so long as he keeps sending platinum my way. In any case, no one will notice the disappearance of some common street rabble.
Plague and Mind Flayer, I don't like that. Doubled up on the AoE spells to just make a mess in here. Okay, and then we need to go into where we were supposed to be going. Oh, hello. So this is where I
The last
DDO back
entry
to
in
the
the
start.
account book reads, 8 sturdy iron cages, warranted to hold prisoners, ordered by Mr. Smythe and paid in full.
I used that purple dragon sprint boost sparingly, as mentioned before, because unlike previously where we didn't have any iconic past life that was worth anything for purple, now we've got this extra light spell power from the Morning Lord thing there, and as you can see there, doing the Purple Dragon sprint boost puts that on a minute's cooldown. So during regular
A
questing, I
solitary
try not to go
warforged
too
stands in the
crazy with
center
that
of the
boost.
courtyard. You have finally located the elusive Mr. Smythe.
Come on, Mr. Smythe. Let's so 10 pick points. That's from the Shining Through, then the Stange. So over 1,000 now from those two. I think that's pretty decent. We're gonna do the old trick with the two AoEs together as well when he finally decides to come and fight us, because at the moment he's not active, is he? Put the spell absorb trinket on. Single target damages, which I should have done ages ago.
You've destroyed the creature
too
responsible
bad.
for snatching people from the streets of the Saltire district. But who was this odd beholder working
that
for?
he's thrown on
And
his
what is the purpose
flesh
of the
seer?
creatures known as the Taken?
So that even though I had the spell absorb
but
trinket, he
another
still
is
got
just
us with
beginning.
that. In your own time, game. Okay. I think maybe we have time to throw a little bonus one in. What could we do for a bonus one? Maybe the Shadows one in Evening Star. That's a 15, isn't it? That's another one actually, Brian. It's a dead easy one to do. It can drop the trinket, is it green ion stone, which gives more health, and the just like the master's voice of the master thing for XP for quest. So quite a nice little one to do if you're looking for something a bit different around this level.
The people here know the name of Elminster, the wizard who braved the demon web. Some call him the Sage of Shadowdale.
And if you're
Others,
ever
the
wanting
great
to
over-sorcerer.
push the
Anyone
boat
can
out a
fathom
bit
Wolf's
and
plans.
do a
Elminster will.
slightly, where have I got? I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Do a slightly higher difficulty than what you're used to. This quest would be my recommendation for it. It's one of the, definitely one of the softer quests at this level. The shadows in particular just melt to just about anything. Any kind of AoE, you'll be laughing. Of course, we've got some light elements here which will hurt them even more, although the lag is hurting us.
Here, prisoners are interrogated before they are thrown inside the walls. A magistrate beckons you forward with a slight nod.
Okay.
You feel
I could probably, let's do an experiment. Unless a Reaper pops up, I can probably just stand here and kill them quite nicely. There you go, happy days.
and your world shifts back to normal. Screams and the clash of arms can be heard outside. The docks are under attack. Smoke rises in the distance.
Look at the lovely AoE on that tentacle thing. Only the archer was out of it. I think the two ticking things will take care of them. Had the Reaper not been in there, I wouldn't have used the spell there. I think that the blasts are quite capable of taking care of the rank and file. as well pick up these barrels on the way through. So when the two biggies are on cooldown, you can see their web is a perfectly capable substitute just to hold the things down.
A purple dragon knight rallies you to his side. To the ship, he cries.
I think what happened there, the target had gone down the side of my screen, so there was a bit of a hitch in casting the spell. It's a typical issue for me.
A purple dragon knight runs from the alley, breathless from battle. Those strangers, nothing seems.
They all gone? Nope. He's got the ticking things on him, so I suspect he will die just from that. Let's have a look, just by way of experimentation. He should, yeah, look at that. That was the big damage from the creeping cold as it got towards the end of its duration. I was about to try and disable the traps here. I don't think that would have ended well, considering I can't do it. Hello? Going to say I was expecting some shadows. I haven't blasted at all. That was all the aura. I mean, yes, the shadows are fairly feeble, but even so, it just shows you the ticking aura on its own. It does do a. Again, I'm not doing anything blast-wise. Sorry for the tree trunk in the way.
Ahead are the walls of Wayloon prison. The
The
captain
more
surveys the area
cores
from
you
atop
have
the ramp.
in the tainted tree, I think the faster the thing. Sorry, in the spirit tree, the faster the thing ticks. I think that's how it works. Yes, from the third core it begins to go faster. So I think it starts at every 5 seconds, then every 4, every 3. This puts it down to 2. And I don't think that changes it, does it? No.
Once again, your world shifts and shadows. You must keep the walls.
I'm just going to sit here, not going to do anything. Oh, I will now. Memories here of the key generating quest in the Night Revel event, of what people used to do before you could collect keys just in regular questing. People used to sit an aura warlock in that area like for a whole day just to get it to generate keys when the opponents popped up in the instance.
The way through the docks is open once again.
Something else to note there, this build really doesn't mind Plague Reapers either, because relying so little on positive healing, the being plagued isn't really an issue. You can still trigger your temporary hit points, as I did there, as you can see, and no problem.
The magistrate lies dead on the floor. The killer
So we'll
looks
get
up,
the
quite unconcerned.
single target spells ticking away
He's gone,
on
she
the
says.
target.
We freed him.
Stange.
The shadow fell. The goddess won.
And there we go. The damage over times did their job.
Secured the Wayloon docks. Yet a shadow looms
Of course, I don't get the green trinket that I was talking about, so if you didn't know what it was, you still don't. What's it called? I think it's just a pale green ion stone. I think that's what it is. Okay. Yes, I haven't pushed the boat out. It's softer content and no great challenge, but my kind of brief for this was to show that you can level at a decent pace. You have ample AoE, both in crowd control and damage, to go along quite nicely. And unlike with the standard Warlock build, the lack of healing really doesn't matter to us. The standard build, of course, would get Stange, but then I suppose if you rely too heavily on that, you're going to be ending up nerfing your overall hit point pool. But I think broadly speaking, that Stange on its own would be ample. Well, from talking from experience, I have used that on its own to level decently, again without needing too much on the positive healing side. So that's totally doable too. But when you add in the shining through, it just becomes abusively good. It's just like armchair DDO. Okay, I think that's all I've got to show for this one. We will reconvene, shall we say, around early Epic 22, something like that. See where we're at. I think that would be good. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.